This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution, once again with the wonderful Donna Dooher at Mildred's Temple Kitchen in Toronto. And this is part 2 of our Old Hands interview, where I asked Donna about the changes that she has seen in the industry throughout her many decades in said industry. Donna, where would you like to begin with that question?
I think Caesar salad.
Caesar salad. How do you begin with Caesar salad?
Well, I began with Caesar salad because I worked as a prep cook. My first job in my first restaurant, I made Caesar salads, but I made Caesar salad the way Caesar salad should be made. Big wooden bowl, rub it with salt, fresh egg, anchovy, garlic paste, slowly drizzle in your oil.
Was this tableside?
It wasn't tableside, but I love it when they do it tableside, at the high-end steakhouses and whatnot, make a show of it. But it's so delicious when it's done like that. But that was all I did. My first, I would say, 6 months in the kitchen, I made Caesar salads. And I have to say I'm very proud of this, but they were spectacular by the end of 6 months, because you learn, you get faster, and you find better ways to do things to deliver a better product. It's all part of that process of developing those skills that take you through a leadership role in the kitchen.
And being able to get those consistencies down, get the ingredient consistency down pat.
Yes, very important. And now today, I saw the whole Caesar, when I came into the kitchen, we were all mad for Caesar salad, not the drinks, Jamie. We're still mad for those. And then it died off. We kind of, I don't know, maybe romaine lettuce lost a bit of its glam.
Was it glam for a while?
Oh, it was very glam. Yeah. That was, you just didn't go into the supermarket and pull all of these different lettuces. You got a bib lettuce, or not even a bib. You got
an iceberg.
Iceberg lettuce. That's right. So romaine lettuce was pretty exotic.
Yes.
That's right. And then we saw it die off, and we went through I call it the stacked. The 80s and the 90s. It was all about stacked
verticality.
Food.
Yes.
And I remember as a young cook, we used to love to stack that food up and see if the waiters could get it to the table
without it falling over.
Without it falling over. We used to
I remember
chuckle on that one. see if they can get this one to the table. The shine was off the Caesar salad. But then a few years ago, I noticed Caesar's salad was coming back again. And guess what? We're not making it with romaine. We make it with kale. Now, if I had tried to serve kale 20 or 30 years ago out of my kitchen, I guarantee it would come flying back through the swinging door.
Just because people didn't have an appetite for it? Or?
Well, they didn't understand it.
Right.
We used kale back then to garnish because it was hardy and it would hold up. So you'd line a tray with kale and you'd heap salad onto it or something for the buffet table.
Right, so it would be more in the way that kind of rock salt is used with oysters or something like that. Yes,
exactly. Yeah, it was really just there to provide color and a bit of texture.
And not for eating it.
But nobody would eat it.
Interesting.
Oh no, you wouldn't touch that stuff. Yeah. And now, of course, we're just absolutely mad for it.
Now, you mentioned in part 1 of this interview that there weren't very many opportunities for women in the industry, only up to a certain level, perhaps. How have you seen that change?
Well, it's been a huge change. It's been a wonderful, remarkable change. Absolutely necessary change.
Yes.
I've never understood. I'm always perplexed by the kitchen, or the hearth, if you will. That domain has, by and large, belonged to women historically over the generations and centuries, existence of time, I guess. And I'm not saying that women belong in the kitchen. That's where they belong, by any means. But it was always a place, even for myself as a young child growing up. My mother is Italian, and we spent a lot of time canning, preserving, cooking in the kitchen, and that was where my mother and my grandmother, my great-grandmother, all the extended female members of the family, they solved a lot of problems in that environment. But in the last, I don't know how, maybe it's 20 years or 30 or 50 even, this whole notion of the kitchen becoming dominated by men.
Now we're talking about commercial kitchens here,
Commercial
as opposed to the home kitchen. Right?
Yes, commercial kitchens, absolutely correct. I don't know how that happened.
Right.
I don't know where we got there. I guess because women weren't allowed to go outside the home to go into a commercial setting. You know, they weren't allowed to touch commerce. But if you ask any male chef who inspired them, they're going to tell you it was their mother or their grandmother.
Right.
I would say 99% of the time. So here we are, women wanting to be in the commercial professional kitchen and having so many barriers to doing that. It's very perplexing. It's puzzling. And I mean, I look at my own kitchen. Well, we've always had a very strong female presence in our kitchens right from day one.
Really? Oh.
Always. And the first kitchen that I worked in, my chef was a woman. And she was a trained Italian chef. She trained in Italy. She's Italian. She did her training in Italy. She came to Canada, and she was an anomaly in her Italian home because not a lot of women went into the commercial kitchen.
Yes, yeah.
There as well. And Raffaella, or Bella as we fondly call each other, she's amazing woman. She taught me things about the kitchen that I don't think I would have learned if I'd been under the leadership of a man. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Her approach was very different. You know, we didn't yell and scream and kick. Not to say that I haven't done those things, Jamie. I can be salty in the kitchen, of course, and the pressure is intense back there. But you know, Raffaella always tried to create a scenario where you could learn to temper that and maybe step away from that. Because cooking is about a return to the table. And I think of mean cuisine, when you've got a bunch of people behind the swinging door who are angry and who are yelling and who are snapping the towel or, you know, abusing each other. That's mean cuisine.
Yes, yeah.
And how does that translate on the plate in the dining room at the table with the guest? So it's one of those perplexing things, but the good news is that it's changed so much. And I love to see all of these young women who are coming through the ranks, whether it's in the kitchen, whether it's in the front of house, managing, leading. It's just great. And young people all around have a much healthier and robust attitude to collaboration and working together.
So you would say that the way that women are treated, both front and back of house, has changed drastically since you first entered the industry?
It absolutely has. I'm not saying it's perfect. I don't think it's perfect anywhere in any workplace, but it's going through a massive change, and this is good. I have always thought of that this sexual revolution or women's liberation or however you want to frame that conversation, around 3 stages. And the first one in my mind was women getting the vote. This was pretty big news. And then for myself as a young woman growing up, it was the sexual revolution. You know, that changed so much for women. And it may have changed things in a negative way as well, and we've had to find our way through all of that. And now with the Me Too movement, or Time's Up, we're seeing women really saying, okay, this is it. And I think it's like the final frontier for now women of all ages, all generations, to move forward with confidence, to say that this is acceptable and this is not acceptable, and I will not have that unacceptable piece invade my space, come into my life. And when we all embrace that, we just get stronger and better, and we spill off onto others, we teach others, and we grow as a society.
Speaking about the changes that you have seen, what are your hopes and fears for the independent restaurateur in today's environment?
Well, people ask me this question, Jamie, a lot. And it's 2 things: Netflix and Uber Eats.
On-demand culture.
On-demand culture, yes. And you know, for especially an independent operator, And independents are the innovators. We innovate. The chain or multi-unit restaurants tend to look to us. We innovate, but they can ramp up that innovation, scale it up, make it happen faster. But I would say that would be our greatest competition in the fine dining. Well, fine dining is, we don't even say that anymore. But in a restaurant where you come in and you have a full service dining experience. So, like we always do, we have to learn to adapt. How do we adapt? How do we stay competitive? How do we grow? How do we maintain? But how
do you stay relevant in this?
How do we stay relevant? Yeah. So it's interesting times for sure.
Well, Donna Dooher, thank you very much for joining us at Good Food Revolution today, and thank you for indulging us with a two-part interview, an in-depth interview.
Well, it's my pleasure, Jamie, always.
Thanks. Bye for now.